we go. Welcome back to another edition of the Training Camp Report right here on Giants.com. My name is John Schmelk. Today we're joined by beat reporter for WFAN and contributor to all things Giants media, Paul Dottino. Paul, welcome.
Good to see you, John.
It's good. Happy to have you here. Let's start with the news of the day. That has to be Kevin Boss. It looks like Kevin is on his way to Oakland. And, Paul, it's really a big loss for the Giants. Tom Coughlin talked about it earlier today.
Disappointing, but evidently it was something that occurred just recently, and we were very much involved in that, but the decision is the decision. Wish him well.
Was it that far apart for you guys?
I'm not sure what the details are.
How much of a loss is that, Tom?
Well, I mean, obviously we would like to have him here, but we've got 5 tight ends here. They're going to have to compete for jobs.
And, Paul, I at least consider this a bit of a surprise. I think we all expected Kevin Boss to find his way back here. He liked being here. He was comfortable here. He fit into the system. But it looks like the Giants are going to have to go a different direction.
Well, you know, John, there's a lot of money involved in this deal, but there's also a family connection. Boss, as you know, is from the West Coast. His wife is also from the West Coast. And so, in addition to the dollars, and I'm sure that there was a lot of jockeying going on because Boss did love being here with the Giants. Make no mistake about that, John. And he really did want to come back. There was also that family tie that was drawing him across the country. And, you know, Tom Coughlin told us he was very disappointed, and I'm sure everybody is.
So now what? That's the question facing the Giants right now. The Giants have a bunch of guys in camp at tight end. Which will step up and fill the void left by Kevin Boss? One of those guys could be Bear Pasco. Let's hear from him.
I'm not real sure. As of right now, playing both, you know, playing tight end, playing fullback, playing a little bit of whatever they need, you know, wherever they need me. And I know me and Travis have been in there at tight end and been in our 2 tight end sets, been in there together, and me and Jake. So, you know, it might be a deal, kind of a game plan deal, you know, wherever they need me, really.
And, Paul, you heard from Bear. He expects to play fullback and tight end in practice depending on the formation, depending on the situation. He's in the mix. Ballard's in the mix. Obviously, they just brought in Patrick. He's in the mix. What's going to happen here with the Giants at tight end?
Well, Beckham's in the mix, too. I mean, he's
but
always in the mix.
He's not a real tight end, though.
He's in the mix every year as that pseudo-tight end, that H-back, if you will. They try to find a role for him every year, and it doesn't seem to happen. He's certainly going to get some opportunities during the preseason. But, John, you know, when you look at the Giants' tight end picture right now, they've got 5 guys on the roster, but nobody's really that do-everything Mr. Complete guy who can handle every single aspect of the offense. So to say that the Giants are probably looking at the waiver wire and maybe saying that there might be somebody there who fits a little bit better, I don't think that's too much of a reach.
Paul, the other piece of really good news the Giants got today is they've finally come to terms with first-round pick Prince Amukamara. Head coach Tom Coughlin knows it's very important to get him in here on the practice field and in the classroom.
I think you got to get him the terminology first, the understanding, so that there isn't something that he's confused with from a verbalization standpoint, and then you just got to throw it at him. You know, he's got to come along, and you'll make some. You'll bring him to a point, and you'll try to assess how he can help us, and then after that, it's a continuous extra time kind of devoted to getting there as fast as he can. So he's got a lot of classroom work to make up for, because you figure 4 hours a day since we've been here, nothing but classroom.
Paul, Prince was the last first-round pick in the entire NFL to get brought under contract, and boy, the Giants need him.
Oh, boy, do they need him. And you know, John, the thing about it is when he was first drafted here, I had heard some rumblings that maybe he'll play some of Deion Grant's third safety position, you know, the Ghidra package, as I like to call it. But because of the lockout and because of the holdout, he is so far behind.
You got to hope he can just play corner.
I mean, really, he's going to play special teams. You know that. The good news is at Nebraska, he played a lot of press coverage, a lot of pro-style defense out there. And so as Peter Ginta, the corners coach, told me the other day, we think he's smart, he's intelligent, he has an idea of what we'd like to do. We know physically he's done some of the things we'd like to do. So I'm sure we'll be able to get him some kind of package.
And Paul, the need to get Prince Amukamara on the practice field became even larger with the injury yesterday to Bruce Johnson, tore his Achilles, a terrible injury for a good kid.
Yeah, he was just backpedaling right here on the real grass. And, you know, so many of these injuries happen on the artificial turf, but this one was inexplicable. Tom Coughlin really didn't have anything to say about it, except it's what a shame. I mean, this is a good kid. Hurt his knee last year, cost him, half the season. Now he goes down here with the torn Achilles. Obviously, he's going to be out for the season. They haven't said that, but you know how that works. He's a kid who, with Prince in here, would have been the 5th corner on the roster. But I'll say this, he might have been the best 5th corner in the National Football League. The kid can play.
An undrafted guy, a great story. Hopefully he can work his way back from this injury and make an impact down the road. Paul, thanks a lot for joining us as always.
Well, it's good to be with you, John.
Paul Dottino, John Schmeelk, Training Camp Report right here on Giants.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Here we go.